And we are back in it. All
Hey,
right.
what's up? It's Logic here.
We're gonna
And
cross-examine the fuck out of these motherfuckers. Okay, we're gonna cross-examine these people till they die. Um,
oh, interesting.
I thought that's what we were
Is that
doing here.
murder?
No, it's cross-examination, Claire.
I see.
We're not killing them. They're just gonna happen to die, because of the cross-examination.
Okay.
We're gonna cross-examine them, and then totally unrelated, but also very related, they're gonna die. Totally unrelated. Totally not our fault.
Right.
But we are trying to do it, and it is going to happen. But it's not our fault,
Right.
Claire. It's very simple.
I think I understand.
We're
gonna
draw
draw
this
this
cross-examination
until they all die of starvation.
Exactly. Exactly. And of course, we are intending to do that, but we're not trying to do that. It's not. It just happens. Anyway, I'm gonna press this. The press actually stands for what I do to that button whenever I see it.
The lantern fell after the incantation. Are you positive about that?
I say I am positively positive that I am positive. I heard her voice and then sploosh.
That sploosh. Was that the sound of a
Sploosh.
lantern hitting the ground?
You're not saying it correctly. It has to be sploosh.
Or the sploosh.
Indeed. But of course. Do you see?
But if you look at the lantern, you'll notice that the glass is shattered. You specifically said you heard a sploosh. Shouldn't you have heard the sound of the glass shattering when it hit the ground?
The sound of glass shattering? No, I'm afraid I failed to catch your drift. Oh. I was present in an area a bit farther away from the crime scene, you see. I have no recollection of hearing such a sound.
No recollection.
Precisely so. I'll have you know I can easily hear a dog barking across town. Do not underestimate my hearing.
I wasn't. Relax, Grandpa.
There's nothing of interest in this testimony. Will the witness with the goat please proceed with her testimony?
Huh? Right. You mean us. You startled us, didn't he, Snowy?
We're for sure gonna have to press on her, because she made a big show of it while we were pressing on him.
Hold it!
Right. But earlier, you stated that Miss Cantabella had the lantern hanging from her wrist.
Well, quite right. Not quite. We didn't say for certain. We only believed it was on her wrist.
Believed?
Yes, precisely. You know how you sniff milk when you're not quite sure if it's gone bad. And then drink it anyways. And then your nose is assaulted by that foul odor that you weren't expecting. Well, it's a bit like that.
Did you know the fun fact about me that I can't smell to tell when milk is off? Like, it always smells off to me.
Oh, I thought you were gonna be like, it always smells fine.
No, it always smells off to me. Every time I smell milk, I'm like, ugh, it smells like vomit. I think it's because when I was a child, when I was a baby, I had spoiled milk and vomited a bunch.
Ah.
Yeah.
It smells like the memory of vomit.
It always smells bad to me too. Thank you, Ree. And Finn. Yeah, I can't smell milk being off. Smells fine to me. So Claire, if the four of us are ever in a room and there's milk there, we need to know if it's okay. It's gonna have to be you.
I'm the milk inspector.
You're the milk inspector. She's the milk goblin. You're the
I'm
milk
her.
inspector.
This is me.
This
I'm
is
the
you.
milk inspector.
Yeah, this is you and May, actually. Heed my words, madam. Do not make a habit of stealing for your own safety.
The memory of vomit keeps you from vomiting.
So true.
Oh, we said we're sorry. Please, it was all Snowy's fault.
Ah!
Oh, brother.
Anyway, we can confidently say that we both saw the milk bucket, right, Precious? And as for the lantern falling, we don't know much about that, do we now, Schnookums?
Hold it!
What do you mean? Well, maybe the mud was already on the lantern before any of this happened. Did you ever think of that? Or any of this happened? Like, maybe it's been there since last week? It did rain last week too, after all. And if that's the case, then there really isn't any point arguing about whether or not she dropped the lantern, right?
Indeed. What say you, Defender?
I say, take a closer look at the lantern. You'll notice there's mud on the glass. Mud on the glass? The lantern wouldn't be very useful with all the mud blocking out the light. Miss Kira, I'd say your little theory regarding this lantern is muddy at best.
She said, ah.
I could point out witnesses till the cows come home. Or goats. That wouldn't turn this testimony into anything we can use. I've got to find a lead somewhere.
Kane Idol, please give us something.
Hold it!
This is important. Are you sure you really saw that lantern?
You are but a petty baker, are you not? It is not your place to be telling me what is important. There is but one thing of importance, ridding this town of its witches as quickly as possible.
Objection!
Hardly. I'd say this is far more important.
What?
We're trying to find out the truth here.
How absurd! That girl is a witch, I say, a witch! I would stake my entrance into the Knights of the Inquisition on it.
Listen well, whelp.
Yes, Sir Barnum.
Many young men within the ranks of the knighthood share your level of passion. However, you let your ambition completely blind you. The same way that a muddy lantern leaves one blind and helpless in the dark.
What?
This guy.
Yes, indeed. I would say he's quite the tough motivator. What do you think, Nick? Did you notice anything fishy?
Yeah, possibly. I think there may be something I can use.
That's awesome for you. Really? Wow, I didn't hear anything special.
There was definitely something out of place about that one witness's testimony. It was something I haven't noticed from any of the other witnesses so far.
It appears you may have found something, Mr. Wright.
A 4-witness cross-examination. This is something I've never done before. But then... maybe there's another way I should be tackling this.
I believe it is worth trusting that intuition, Mr. Wright.
Okay, got it. Alright, let's try pressing that old man one more time. Oh,
Okay, we're gonna press him
just
again?
Gave you the answer.
Hold it!
I see, you had to press one before the other. Sometimes that happens.
Okay.
Yeah, it's weird. The lantern fell after the incantation. Are you positive about that?
I say I am
Sploosh.
positively positive that I am positive. I heard her voice and then sploosh.
We did say this already. That sploosh. Was that the ground
Indeed,
or the
of
sound
course.
on the
But
mound?
of course, do you see?
But if you look at the lantern, you'll notice the glass is shattered. You specifically said you heard a sploosh,
Yeah,
and then
okay.
you heard a glass shattering when you hit it down.
Okay, so
Hold it!
okay.
There it is, right there. I knew I heard something strange.
Huh? But old Greybeard didn't say anything weird.
Maya, it's not the old guy that said something weird. It's the person next to him.
Next to him?
Ah, look there, Professor. The goat lady. She looks deep. She looks really deep in thought.
It would seem. She's noticed something odd in this elderly gentleman's testimony. Ah, that's right. These cross-examinations have 4 witnesses. Hey, Nick, it looks like we're not the only ones paying attention to these testimonies.
You're right, which means if they're all listening to each other's testimonies...
Correct, Mr. Wright. Each witness is fully aware of themselves
God.
and their own actions when in the middle of their own testimonies. However, it is while listening to the testimonies of others that the witnesses may sometimes reveal the most valuable information.
I see, it's habitual. They can't tell they're doing it, but I can. Who do you think you are? I am. And I'm going to use it to turn the tide back in our favor.
In fact, I do believe I may have spotted our first opening in which to test this new technique. Mr. Wright, could I draw your attention to the touch screen?
The fucking what? The touchscreen?
Sliding the magnifying glass during a witness's testimony will allow you to shift your focus across to another witness.
This sounds awful.
This is gonna
Right,
be
so the
terrible.
important thing here isn't the witness that's in mid-testimony, it's the other 3 witnesses listening.
It's a weird mechanic.
It's just a matter of catching them off guard and questioning them.
What are you waiting for, Nick? Let's give it a shot. How about we try questioning the goat lady next to old Greybeard?
Okay, all I have to do is slide the magnifying glass over to that witness.
Thing.
Hang on!
Excuse me, Miss Mary.
Oh, do you mean us? But Snowy and I have nothing else left to say.
I knew it. Caught her completely by surprise. Mr. Wordsmith just gave his testimony. He told us all about the sound he heard when the lantern fell to the ground. Mr. Wordsmith didn't seem too sure, but I wonder if you might happen to have something to say about this.
Huh? Well, that's... Is that all right, Sir Barnham? May I answer the question?
Do what you will, madam. There is no need for formalities.
Huh?
Well, we'll try and explain, won't we, Snowy? The truth is, we did hear something. That is to say, we heard the sound of the lantern's glass shattering. We're sure of it. It was frighteningly loud. It quite startled us, didn't it, Snowy dear? I looked in the direction of the sound, but I couldn't see anything, let alone the girl or those 2 thieves. It was a tad dark after all.
When the glass shattered, the flame inside must have gone out. Hence she could not see them. That seems to be the gist of it.
Then, as I peered into the darkness, I heard it.
You heard it? What did you hear exactly?
You know, that. I heard the incantation for the spell Ignaze. Ignaze. I never remember how it's pronounced.
What did you just say?
I said I never remember how it's pronounced.
Now hold it right there, witness!
Yes, me lord.
The glass shattered when the lantern fell. Then after that, you heard the incantation for the spell Ignaze. Do you swear to this court that this is without a doubt correct?
Yes, maybe, I think.
How about my testimony? What of my oratorical observation? That blasted spell Ignaze occurred first, then the lantern plummeted to the ground.
I heard no such thing. There was no sound of shattering glass.
Absurd! Simply absurd. So the lantern fell and the glass shattered. That does not change the very fact that this girl is a witch.
Objection.
I hate to disappoint you, but that's not quite the case. In fact, this testimony changes things a lot. Wouldn't you agree, Inquisitor Barnum?
What is the meaning of this?
Let's go over what we know so far. In order for a witch to use any magic, they must be holding a witch's scepter. And yet, none of the 4 witnesses saw the defendant holding a scepter of any kind.
That's because the scepter was made to disappear with the spell Demir, correct?
At the time of the crime, the 2 victims grabbed Miss Cantabella's arm, causing her to drop the lantern onto the ground. If, at the time, she was in fact holding an invisible scepter, then the scepter must have fallen when she dropped the lantern. Now let's say, hypothetically, that Miss Cantabella really is a witch. In order to use any magic, she would have to recite the spell before dropping the scepter. However, as our witness, Miss Mary, has just stated in her testimony, she heard the incantation for Ignaze after hearing the lantern's glass shatter.
What?
Oh,
You do all understand what that means, don't you? It means that Miss Cantabella, the supposed witch you've locked up, could not possibly have cast any magic. Therefore, the defendant, Espella Cantabella, is clearly in no way, shape, or form a witch.
such frivolity! Do you realize what you're insinuating? Do you really think she's not a witch?
Such nonsense. Did any of you ever even listen to my testimony?
Well, we did, but you're wrong. There was no glass shattering.
Are you calling me a liar, Missy? You wouldn't even see the mud on the lantern when it was plain as day.
What ridiculous claims, all of you!
Oh, hush. Take your little toy sword and go back to playing pretend, Sir Knight.
Witnesses, this is a court of law, not a playground. Must I remind you of the importance of these proceedings? Witches and their magic threaten our fair town of Labyrinthia. Your words here today could decide the fate of every single citizen within our walls. Do you understand? As such, I expect each of you to take your role seriously and testify honestly about what you saw. In all my days as judge of this court, I have never seen such behavior. Behavior that leads a cloud of doubt over the credibility of each of your testimonies. Indeed, my lord, Quite a miserable set of witnesses, this lot. I see. It would appear this trial has come to a sudden halt.
Huh? So, that must mean...
Quite right. It means you have won this trial, Mr. Wright.
we've won.
I can hardly believe the situation we have found ourselves in. I did not anticipate this trial ending with such a strange turn of events. But due to these witnesses' dubious credibility, I can see no reason to continue. What say you, Inquisitor Barnum? As you wish, my lord.
Barnum's the witch, isn't he?
Totally.
What is going on?
They're actually gonna let this witch run free through the town?
Curses! If it wasn't for that witch and her friends. Barnum, 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 Barnum. Oh. Some guy.
Even close to being over. Not before I take the stand to testify.
What?
Some guy!
Some guy.
Order! Who is this buffoon? Behold! Who am I, you ask? Who am I? Why? I'm the man that's gonna single-handedly save this trial. I'm the fifth witness.
Say what?
Say, oh right, it's full voice now.
What?
Even Barnum didn't see this one coming.
Can I do
Suddenly,
some
suddenly
guy?
it's not voice. Yeah, you can be some guy.
Just as I thought! This trial was going down the drain before I got here! Okay, you lot, assemble! We need a strategy meeting ASAP! I say, who are you?
Thank goodness you showed up.
We can't give up now, everyone.
It has come down to this. To arms, everyone. We shall do battle against that baker and that hat seller.
I can't believe this. What the heck is going on?
Truly fascinating. It seems a new witness has taken the stand. What's more, he appears to be quite the formidable witness.
Is he? Well, I guess.
Some guy cart 64, yes.
This trial is still far from over. Oh my god.
By God, that's some guy's music. Oh.
I'm beginning to understand what sets this apart from the other Phoenix Wright games.
Say more? How much better it is?
They have tried to turn the whole system into a puzzle itself.
Yeah.
More so.
That makes sense. Well then, we will now continue with the trial of Aspella Cantabella.
This dude's just not even relevant. Oh boy. A group of witnesses huddling up before a joint testimony in a witch trial. Can't make this stuff up.
Inquisitor Barnum, if I may ask you a question? Yes, my lord. We now have 5 witnesses on the stand, so I must ask. Why was this obnoxious looking man left out of your initial group of witnesses? Baldy's right, Barnum, that's just cold-blooded! There is but one reason, my lord. I did not know this witness even existed. You, sir, failed to come forward. When we were asking for witnesses for this very trial, you were nowhere to be seen. That's because I didn't hear a peep about it. I ain't usually around at night, except for maybe a rogue's tavern.
So you're basically telling us that you were up all night drinking.
Well, if anyway, it's all water under the bridge now. As far as I'm concerned, just leave the rest of yours truly. During the last interrogation, the defender brought forth some surprising proof. Namely, that there was little possibility the accused could have used magic. I've never heard such a claim. Must be the doing of this logic. What rubbish!
Proof, but no logic.
Logic? You say I ain't got a clue what that is. But I do know that this bread baking son of a baker ought to head back to the bakery.
Eloquently said.
Also, Inquisitor Bottom was the last one. Oi, Gramps! Give me and my partners over here a chance to speak. You want to know how this witch managed to be on that scepter, don't ya? Oh, when you say Gramps, you wouldn't mean me, would you? I fail to see anyone else meeting such a description.
Well, we'll show you she's a witch.
I'll bet Snowy's beautiful white coat on it.
On guard.
All right, team, let's do this. Witnesses. Oh!
Oh,
Oh. Ahem. Yes, well, let us proceed with the testimonies.
Why do I feel like I have totally lost control of this situation? It's clear as day. Espella's a witch. We are not backing down on this.
When she dropped the lantern, the scepter was not yet in her hands.
The scepter must have been hidden by magic and carried on her back.
The rogues grabbed her by the hand that held the lantern, so she must have had another way of holding that scepter.
That's easy. Girl just put down the bucket on the ground, picked up the witch's magic stick.
God.
So she had the witch's scepter behind her back. She then dropped the lantern and reached for the scepter after it fell. If that is the case, then it must have been possible for the accused to have used magic.
This is bad. Thanks to this guy, now all the witnesses seem extra determined to pin this thing on Espella.
They each harbor a shared anger towards witches and magic. Such is the cause of their strong desire to see a guilty verdict passed as quickly as possible. However, such confidence is undoubtedly bound to cloud their better judgment and thinking.
Yeah, I think you're right. No, I'm right. I don't think these guys mean any real harm,
They
but
for sure do. Phoenix, they do.
they're all riled up. They don't even realize how distorted their idea of what happened tonight has become. At least that's how it seems.
This isn't good, Professor. The witnesses aren't thinking straight. They're completely blind to the truth.
Sir Baker, rather Sir Wright,
Yes?
you do not appear to be a mere simple baker, that much is clear. On the other hand, you are no ordinary defender either. Never before has a defender managed to clash and do battle with me here, on this battlefield, as an equal. Sir Blue Knight, this trial has not yet been decided. If there is any doubt in your interrogation, I will not hesitate to strike your case down where it stands.
I understand.
Defender, please begin your interrogation. Clears the ace, spells a witch. We're not backing down on this. I want to see all of them first. Drop the lantern. The scepter was not yet in her hands. Scepter must have been hidden by magic, carried on her back. Rogues grabbed her by the hand that held the lantern. She must have had another way of holding that scepter. It's easy. The girl just put the bucket down on the ground and picked up the witch's magic stick. Okay, let's go back to the start and start pressing, huh?
Sure.
What, do you think we should press in a specific order?
No, with the new mechanic of like listening to other people as they're giving testimony, I truly have no idea where to start.
Yeah.
Like I have a suspicion, but you know.
Yeah.
Not backing down, you say?
Uh-huh, that's right. Espella's a witch. That's our story and we're sticking to it.
This is a courtroom, Miss Kira. We're not interested in your story, we're interested in the truth.
You know what I think? I think stories have the power to touch our lives in really meaningful ways.
That's so true, girl.
What do you mean?
You've such a great point, Kira. Burn the witch.
Last year, I read a book about a flower girl who brought peace to the world with all the pretty flowers she sold. Because of that story, now I tell myself, Kira, one day you'll fill the world with beautiful flowers of your own. That story inspires me to sell more flowers. It's pretty much the same as this trial.
What a very touching story. Indeed, I have
decide
heard
if I
nary a
like it.
truer tale. Wouldn't you agree, Sir Blue Knight?
Maybe it's just me, but I'd have preferred something a little more relevant.
I'm afraid our logic may do us no good here. Let's move on to the next witness, shall we?
Who's your favorite witness?
I was really leaning towards the wordsmith. But I really like, I think Kira's really funny. She's like the social media account for a sitcom that had a controversial episode. Stories can touch our lives in really meaningful ways. But I do think it might be some guy now. Really coming in at the end here.
Hold it!
Who's your favorite?
It was Mary, but I think it's Kira now.
Kira's great.
No matter how many times we ask, you say you didn't see the scepter. Oops.
You're cutting in and out in a weird way. You were also going robotic for a bit, Claire.
Oh.
It's weird. There's some weird audio things happening. I don't know if it's happening for people as well, but I'm not sure if there's some weird inner thing. I guess I'll let you know if it keeps happening.
Yeah, are people on the stream hearing that? Am I going robotic?
Keep talking. Talk
Robotnik.
for an extended period of time.
So this is our controversial episode. Hi, everybody.
Okay, now it's fine. So,
Same audio weirdness. Okay,
a
strange.
little bit.
Hmm.
It was happening. Okay, same audio weirdness. Is it? It's right now. It's
Is it
not
fine
happening.
now?
It's fine now.
Okay.
If it starts again, I'll let you know.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, it's saying your internet connection is unstable.
Mine or yours?
Yours. I just saw it on the stream.
Interesting. Okay. Not much I can do about that. I will hope that it gets better.
It gets better.
I ask you, youngling, were you paying attention to this trial?
Gekking out. Yes.
Well then, magic made the scepter invisible, did it not? Thus, my old age clouding up my vision has nothing to do with anything. The scepter actually vanished.
No, what I'm saying is, if it really was invisible, you wouldn't be able to actually prove it.
Not so, young one. We can prove it. The girl is a witch. There is your proof. So, my old age clouding up my memories has nothing to do with anything. The scepter magically vanished, you see.
Okay, we get it.
It makes perfect sense. The girl's a witch because the scepter vanished. The scepter vanished because the girl's a witch. Claire, I don't know why you're not getting this. When the lantern fell, you claimed the scepter was still not in her hand yet. So that means...
Hold it!
The witch's scepter was behind her back.
Well, it's like my little snowflake here. Whenever my darling gets too heavy, I hoist him up and carry him on my back.
You mean your baby goat, right?
Yes, yes. There isn't a cuter little goat in this entire courtroom, right, precious?
Bah.
I know it's been asked already, but you didn't see the witch's scepter, did you?
Well, no, but it must have been made invisible by the magic and then put on her back. You know, Snowy is still such a tiny little thing. If I put him on my back, you can hardly see him.
I hardly see the point of that comment.
So the accused grabbed the witch's scepter after the lantern fell?
Hold it!
Are you alright?
What? Why?
Why? Well, for one thing, you're hiding behind what I assume is a shield.
Well played, Blue Knight. You managed to see through my steel guard technique.
Clearly made of wood.
Your steel what technique?
You tried to penetrate the depths of my mind and deceive me once with your witchcraft of words. But you will find your words are futile against the strength of my shield crafted from wood harder than steel. Now then, have at you. Attack me if you dare.
No. Just listen a second.
Looking at this sketch, it's quite clear the accused could not have held the scepter in the same hand carrying the lantern. Witness explained to the court just how the accused held the scepter.
Hold it!
She put the milk bucket down.
That's right, reckon if she did that, she'd have no problem holding that thing.
Objection!
But none of the other witnesses have said anything about seeing her put the bucket on the ground.
But no one said a thing about not seeing her put the button down either, right? Oh.
Hang on!
Oh, we got two. Excuse me, Miss Kira.
Huh? Yes, what is it?
Tell me, what do you think of this witness's testimony just now? The accused placed the bucket on the ground. No one has said anything about this until now. Why, you're right. How odd. Everyone must have simply forgotten, myself included. Huh? But yeah, Espella definitely did put that milk bucket down. That way she was able to easily grab her scepter and use magic. Easy peasy, right?
The nerve, Nick. It looks like she's just trying to peg Espella's witch every chance she gets.
Really, I don't know how much more of this testimony I can stand.
Yeah, he just has a piece of modern day paper. It's really funny. Okay, let's we're going back and we're gonna try someone else when he says his shit.
Right. That
Hold
makes
it!
sense. Oh wait, there was one more at the end now.
What do you mean?
Or maybe it was just like
No, it's just
that's
him.
the end. Never mind.
Objection!
Okay, who are we going to now?
At least it shows you. I thought you were gonna have to be scanning the whole time when people were like checking. Is it?
It's
either of them?
everyone.
Oh, it's literally all of them.
Who do you think?
I don't know.
Mary's been weak constantly.
Damn.
But Nidal is a loser. I want to try and break Nidal.
Of course.
She's trying to
Excuse
what
me.
a spell. That's later.
Oh, excuse me, Mr. Nidal. Tell me, what do you think about this witness's testimony just now? He claims the accused placed the bucket on the ground. No one has said anything about this until now.
I am reminded of but one thing, sir. A battle tactic important to any knight. Imagine, in one hand you hold your sword, and in the other your shield. When suddenly, from the shadows, an itch of epic proportion takes to your back. What doth one do? Indeed, what can one do? Well, let me tell you. One must drop one's sword and fell that unholy itch with a well-timed scratch to one's back.
Right.
A crafty witch would surely use the same tactic, would she not?
Just making sure none of them are doing anything.
I call it my signature back scratch attack of great justice.
Right.
By the way, be wary when using that tactic in battle. I find my opponents rarely give me ample time to remove my armor and scratch.
Thank you for that, Mr. Nidal. No further questions.
Mr. Nidal sure takes the whole knight thing super seriously, huh?
Sheesh. I guess it's back to the drawing board. Kira X's spell effect. Great.
Great. Extremely good. Okay. Let's try again.
Hold it.
Is the ship name Aspira?
Aspira. Definitely.
Wow, this game really introduced a mechanic that was like, do you want to go through the same dialogue 4 times?
I love it. I think that's good game design, actually. It's fun and interesting and not boring at all. Guess we gotta hit next.
Excuse me, Mr. Wordsmith.
What is it, oh boisterous blue one?
Tell me, what do you make of this witness's testimony just now? He has stated that the defendant put the bucket on the ground. The other witnesses never mentioned that.
Let me tell you something, young man. Long have I lived and prospered. In that time, I've forgotten much. Dreams, aspirations, even love.
Is this a Star Trek reference?
Forgot about that milk bucket. Like one would forget about a single drop of water within the bucket that is life. I don't know. I haven't seen it if it is.
Thank you for that, Mr. Wordsmith. No further questions.
I still don't understand a single word that comes out of his mouth, Nick.
Yeesh. Guess it's back to the drawing board again.
Alright, Mary. Jesus, fuck. Fun mechanics. Fun mechanics.
I will say, I think Mary was the right choice from the beginning.
Hold it.
I think you're probably... Yeah, that makes sense. I should have just gone with Mary.
I mean, even you said Mary.
Objection.
Yeah. I thought... I don't know. She's done a lot, so I thought maybe it'd be someone else for this one.
Yeah, that would make sense, wouldn't it?
Hang on.
Hang on. Excuse me, Miss Mary.
Huh? You mean Snowy and me?
Oh, because she never lies about milk. That's why we should have gone for it.
Tell me, what do you think of the witness's testimony just now?
You're roboting again. Let me see if my internet's doing anything. I don't know. Okay, here's
But
open.
now, am I still a robot?
Yeah, you're still roboting.
I'm still a robot. Damn.
That's weird. Okay.
Still?
Yeah, Robot Claire. Clairebot.
Claire bot. And
Oh, it seems maybe you're resolving yourself. Keep
are we
talking.
back? Am I
Nope.
back?
Still roboting.
Am I being humanified?
Nope, still robot.
Oh, what is happening?
I don't know.
Is it like so bad we can't push forward?
It's kind of hard to listen to, but we could push forward.
Okay, if it's hard to listen to. Hughes placed the bucket on the ground. No one has said anything about this until now.
It's quite hard to listen to.
Okay, how about we go to break then?
Yeah, let's take our break. We will come back and hopefully the technical issues will be fixed by that point. Okay,
Who knows?
back
Alright.
soon, hopefully.